The Ask Academy is a state-of-the-art environment located in trendy central London. Walking into the Academy, you'll be greeted by our friendly staff. The courses on offer, we try to make them relevant with today's trends. We designed the courses so that we offer a perfect mix of catwalk trends that can be diluted and used on your client. Each course is designed to offer a healthy mix of creative techniques and in-house product know-how, which will send each delegate away feeling confident and inspired. This video is designed to give you an introduction to the type of courses that we offer and a demonstration of the unique talents of our creative partners. This is a taster of what we're about and what our creative partners will present.
My name's Sarah Barlow. I've been working with Clynol for 9 years. Started as a technician and then I became Southern Education Manager. Now I'm working freelance with Clynol as a Clynol consultant and also creative partner.
My name's Gary Taylor. I have a hairdressing salon in Brighouse, which is just outside Leeds in West Yorkshire, called Edward & Co. And I've now been with Clynol for 3 years as a creative partner to the company.
My name's Sharon Peake. I work and own 2 salons in Manchester called Ethos, and I've been with Clynol and a creative partner for 4 years so far.
My name's Lawrence Charles. I'm co-partner of Cedars Hairdressing. I'm creative artistic director of the company. I've also been a Clynol creative partner now for 2 years.
Hi, my name's Chris Munn. I've been a creative partner with Clynol now for 6 years.
I'm Charlotte Murray, and I've been working with Clynol for 5 or 6 years, but a long time before that as well because I love the product.
I think what inspired me to become a hairdresser was I was born in the 80s, and it was when Helena Christensen and Claudia Schiffer and Kate Moss and fashion was sort of really, they were like the celebrities of the 80s. And really I just looked at it and thought, wow, I'd really like to get into that. And I trained at Trevor Soulby's as well, and again, you know, one of the world's greatest hairdressers. And I sort of looked at him and thought, wow, that looks like a really cool job.
What inspired me to go into hairdressing was my family history of fashion. My father was in clothing, women's clothing, and I always remember going to his factory as a child, watching him cut all the materials, all the silhouette shapes of the materials, and being that I didn't want to work in a factory, I ended up going into hairdressing.
Education in hairdressing is really important as much as it is in any industry, I think, because it keeps you progressing, keeps you moving forward, keeps you inspired, and you can pass your skills on to the rest of the people that you work with. And I think education is power.
Stylists aren't constantly educated and updated on product development. They're not going to be able to use the products to the full capacity, and they're not going to have those new edges. They're not going to be inspired. They're not going to be motivated. They're going to become quite stale. Therefore, this is not going to give the customer, the client in the salon, the best service that they can get. By educating the team, it keeps them on top level, in front of all the future trends, and also with the full product knowledge that they need.
Hairdressing I've always been inspired to hairdressing. I mean, hairdressing's in my blood. I come from a family business which was set up by great-grandfather in 1919. So yeah, so I just look well for my age. That's all it is. But yeah, we've been set up. I currently have a father and a brother who also are in the business, and I've been cutting hair since the age of 13. I've always loved what I do.
I think hairdressers really need to think about where they're going with their career. If they're taking their career seriously, your clients don't always want the most up-to-date styles, but at the end of the day, they still want to know that you know and it's so much motivation. I mean, I love teaching, and to see guys that start off at the end of the day and they're really apprehensive about how a training day is going to go, and then at the end of it, just to see their little faces, they're sort of so proud of themselves. You know, there's not much like that.
My advice to anybody would be to come to the London Academy for numerous reasons. When I first was approached and I came to the Academy, I came on my own, and I think that when people come on courses, one of the best things that you could possibly do to come on a course is to actually come out of your own working environment. And for that, you then end up concentrating a lot more on the course at hand and what you're doing and, you know, what you're there for. Everybody is easygoing, you know, you don't have to feel inferior. If you're struggling, they help, they're friendly. There's no one there that are, how can I put this, prima donna type. Everybody is down to earth, and that to me means everything.
It's a beautiful place. I'm always in awe of the Academy. When I come here, it's you know, it's just movie star sort of salon stuff, or marble and glass and beautiful colours. The variety of courses that you get here and the standard of the trainers, even though I am one, I think, well, all the other guys that I see are great. So it's just an absolutely wonderful opportunity for salons involved with Clynol.
I think the thing that excites me about hairdressing today is you always hear people sort of go, oh, I wish I was born in the 20s, I wish I was born in the 50s, I wish I was born in the 60s. You know, I love that era, it had such good inspiration. But what I actually love about hairdressing now is the diversity. Back in the 50s, back in the 60s, it was so clear cut. You knew what everyone was going to have. You know, it was a very focused fashion, which was fantastic. But you can be in a salon now, and the diversity that you get coming through the doors is everything from the 50s to the 80s to the 90s. So again, it's so interesting, the people that you're getting coming through, and it's constantly changing. So I suppose it's the change, and it's the excitement and the buzz.
The level of students that all the coursework that I do is aimed at is basically any level. I'm there to help any student that's wanting to learn.
They're aimed for students who are qualified. They are qualified hairdressers who are wanting to develop their skills further, whether they're wanting different colouring techniques or they want more experience in techniques, whether it's your cutting courses, they're wanting to refine some skills that they've got, or whether they're wanting to be inspired and have totally new skills. So it's really for any age group, as long as they have qualified and they've done their basics at college or in the salon.
On my courses, a delegate should expect, one, it's not about what you cut off, it can be what you leave on. And it's not just about, they're not going to be shown how to cut hair, they're going to be taken through a slightly different journey, you know, thinking outside of the normal box, as it were. How to achieve something, even if it's the same result, but how to achieve it in a different way will always tend to open up your mind.
Colour is definitely my speciality. I love colour. I love the fact that you can be so creative, and as I just said, you can totally change somebody within a couple of hours. You get instant job satisfaction. I think it's just the fact that there's no end to the colouring possibilities. There's always something new. There's always a colour combination that you've not used before. There's always a different section that you can take, so it is very exciting.
I've been a hairdresser for a long time, but for the last 15 years I've been a freelance session hairdresser. That has involved working with many celebrities and models and actors and actresses and some really fantastic people, and been able to design some fantastic hair, especially for music videos, because you can really go for it. So I had to make sure that my skills were excellent when doing a music video, because you have continuity, you have dancers that are flinging their head everywhere, and that hair cannot fall down. So I had to make sure that my technique was very, very strong, which has now helped me with my teaching, because I can show you how to put hair up that won't fall down.
I think all the courses that we do here at Clynol are quite intense, and they should be to get the message across, but I always try and tell them at the end of the day, look, you know, take that little bit and use that with your own techniques, take this part and use that, and then just build up a new technique. Don't go and try a whole new haircut or hairstyling method, especially on a Saturday afternoon.
Everyone has a different comfort zone, and I think to step outside of it is really good, and I encourage that. There's no such word as can't, it's just have a go. Have a go. Nothing can go wrong, and especially with hair up, you can't go wrong because you just, if it falls down, you put it back up again. If you cut it off, you can't stick it back on.
The courses at the Clynol Academy are relevant to everyday salon life, because whatever they learn within the academy, they can take back a new technique, introduce something new to a client, update that client. Also, it creates a more positive, more buzzy environment within the salon, which creates for a happier salon life, which is always important.